Greetings, members one and all of the Salivation Nation. $90 million piled into gold and crypto investments. That's what Overstock's former CEO did. Yes, there's a reason why he did it, but there's also reasons why we should do at least some of it. Let's explore this interesting story from Market Insider. Yes, Overstock's controversial former CEO sold his entire $90 million stake to pile into gold and crypto investments. Now, this is a controversial figure because he was involved with the Russia investigation. There's other things, too, that he's involved with, the, quote, the deep state. It's very interesting indeed, this gentleman is. He is the founder of Overstock.com. And he sold nearly 5 million shares of his stocks, totaling roughly $90 million in order to invest in gold and cryptocurrencies, according to regulatory filings and a blog post on Wednesday. Patrick Byrne sold nearly 5 million shares, totaling roughly $90 million in order to invest in counter-cyclical assets such as gold and cryptocurrencies. Byrne plans to make his new investments by Friday. He can also provide a capital injection if needed by buying back into Overstock as soon as March 17, 2020, a Wednesday blog post highlighted. The former executive added that his move into crypto precious metals allows him to move his capital outside of acts of retaliation from the deep state. That's an important issue because, in fact, I'm now going to shellac them, he wrote. Actually, shellacked is too weak of a word for what I intend to do to the deep state. Sit back and enjoy the show. Wow. The company's founder cited insurance, controversy, and hedging for the reasons behind his sale, that it wasn't due to a lack of confidence in the e-commerce business. Finding corporate insurance while leading Overstock was impossible, the former CEO said, and the company's success in 2019 made for a good time to sell. Byrne added that his controversial statements would negatively affect the company, as he expects regulatory bodies to try and break Overstock as a way of crippling me. The firm can avoid any Byrne-related hot water now that his stake is eliminated, he said. You think me controversial now, but you ain't seen nothing yet, he says. I know enough to fry the deep state to ashes, Byrne wrote. That is quite a challenge for sure to the establishment. He was already controversial for his role in the Russia investigation, according to what he had found out by befriending a Russian mistress. The company's stock fell as much as 8.9% early Thursday before paring some losses. Overstock traded at $15.56 per share as of 11:21 a.m. Eastern Time, is up about 9% year to date. Byrne exited the company August 22nd, calling himself already too controversial to serve as CEO. The former executive issued a press release August 12th saying he assisted in federal elections into the 2016 federal presidential election. He regarded the statement as a comments on the deep state, referred to law enforcement officials as the men in black, and said his decision to issue the release was encouraged by his Omaha rabbi. The August 12th press release also drew attention to his 3-year relationship with the Russian spy Maria Butina, though it wasn't specifically mentioned. Byrne's statement was made to publicize his issues with how the federal government handled its case against Butina, the New York Times reported. Byrne's resignation saw shares trade up to 17% higher on August the 22nd. Now, this is interesting. I think the lesson we can take from this is that, gold and cryptocurrencies, as I've mentioned before, I'm not really huge into cryptocurrencies. But the one thing that does make it similar, and probably the only thing that makes it similar to gold, is they're decentralized. It's an asset that really can't be tracked, at least not right now, by the government. So I think and gold really can't either, for the most part. I'll be more on that later, how it technically can, even the physical can, at least to a point. But once you have it in your hands, gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies, really, as of right now, they can't be tracked. And it's a way to protect yourself, and that is kind of what he's talking about. He's making some threats here, that he's got information on the deep state that could crush them, but we'll see how that plays out. And but nonetheless, if there's any threat or what have you of anything with regards to government or authorities or what have you, and even as such, with the markets and the way they are against the falling dollar, well, this is a lesson we can all learn from this CEO. That is to protect ourselves with gold and silver, especially. And it's not a bad idea to dabble, if you are so inclined, into the crypto sphere. You know, the thing about cryptocurrencies is you don't know what's going to be the next big thing down the road. You know, here we see the exchange rates and all the cryptocurrencies are down, today. At least the major ones are. And so who knows? Who knows what that's going to mean down the road in terms of where that will break out. But certainly, no matter where the price goes on those, you've got money in there that is essentially sort of outside of the system, and that is what attracts many people to cryptocurrencies. But the thing is, gold and silver have been, quote, outside the system for quite a long time, especially in this country since 1913. So I believe holding gold and silver is a way to get yourself outside the system, to become your own central bank, essentially. And you're empowering yourself in that regard. Most of us, we're not making threats against a well-entrenched bureaucracy by any stretch of the imagination. But, there's a lot of other good reasons to hold gold and silver. I mean, shoot, in many ways, it's a way to protect us in case there's a glitch in the system. You think about it. Security is a big thing. Electronic security. A lot of that is in many ways outside of our hands, especially for these banks. Are they secure with your money in there? Can it just be hacked into? Who knows? In fact, there's even fear of that in the crypto sphere as well. Hacking exchanges and the like. It's already happened. And so I believe that, Mr. Patrick Byrne is doing the right thing, certainly by taking some substantial money out and putting it in gold, cryptocurrencies, and silver. So we'll see. It's very interesting and fascinating indeed. I'd like to follow this guy's story and see what he's got in the deep state and see what he's going to do with his assets and how he holds gold. Is it electronic? Is it exchange traded funds? Is it in the paper electronic markets? Does he actually have physical gold? I'd be very interested to find out the details of that. Yes, indeed. So we'll see. There you have it. Post your thoughts below about this interesting story. And is this a lesson for all of us, I think, to acquire and accumulate gold, not just for threats from the government or what have you, or what could happen, freezing assets, but also just to protect us against economic instability in general. Like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for watching, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe. As a sort of an appendix to this, I found this article. This is from Forbes magazine. I thought this was interesting. Here, this statement that he said about this move that he made. Byrne went on to say that in the event of an economic downturn, the value of these assets would rise, and he would be in a position to provide a capital injection to Overstock. You will have not just access to capital, you will have access to the friendliest capital imaginable, my own. So that just goes to show you how powerful, especially gold is, I think, at this time. and silver too, but especially for this measure. You taking it in because they would go up. Now I'm not sure about cryptocurrencies. My guess is it's very saturated. All the different coins out there. Obviously, Bitcoin is the king of the cryptocurrencies today. We'll see how that plays out. The market's been barely tested there, but nonetheless, gold and silver, I believe he's making a smart move there. But I think that was quite a fascinating quote here. You'll have access to the friendliest capital imaginable, my own, and that is if there is an economic downturn. There you have it.